for whatever.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
Dad, welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to be joined by a brand new Hall of Famer. Just 3 days ago, Jeff Kent got the call that he will be enshrined in Cooperstown this summer. Jeff, welcome to the show. And I was just wondering, to spend 10 years, you get, 15%, 30%, 45%. Do you get to the point where you're like, all right, already, I guess I'm not getting in? I mean, what was that like to kind of, I don't know, did you suffer through that or did you pay attention?
Well, you suffer through it at the beginning, a little bit, but you kind of understand the math. And, baseball, the voting, there's a voting path. If your vote total is so low at the beginning, there's not going to be an end to it. So the anxiety, burns at you a little bit, but, it's not something I ever played for. It's not something I lived for. It's not something that was going to really change my life at that time. So you're grateful that they argue over, the induction possibility over the 10-year period I was on the Hall of Fame ballot, but you just learn to just not. I wasn't bitter about it at all. It's just okay. It's just the reality of it, and you just let it go. So I kind of walked away from it and left it alone for a year, and now it's just all come rushing back in one day, and it hit me like a freight train. Man, it's just overloaded with emotion and gratefulness and thankfulness that I got some recognition here.
I grew up in the East Bay, and a couple of buddies played for Bob Milano at Cal like you, and I remember working TV in the 90s, and we mic'd up Bob, and he swore the whole time, and we had to telling him, hey, Skip, you're on TV, and he didn't care. I mean, that guy was a character. What was it like playing for Milano?
Oh, it was that. He was a drinker and a smoker and a good dude. He wasn't he wasn't a guy that put a shine on his boots. He wasn't gonna hug you and be your friend. He was a guy that was tough, and I didn't really know that when I went on a recruiting trip to Cal, and I liked playing at Cal. I liked playing for him. We went to the College World Series one year, and that was a monster experience, and grateful for it, and grateful that I had people like him, tough guys in my life that prepared me for the toughness of what you have to be as a professional athlete.
And, of course, there was a time not that long ago where Cal baseball looked like it might fold. And I know you threw some cash you helped save that program, didn't you?
Yeah, me and a bunch of other guys. I did my small part, but there were some other big money guys that had a big push on keeping Cal around. They cut 3 sports over there because, it's Cal. It's crazy Cal Berkeley. So they cut 3 sports, but we're able to get funding, about $11 million to save the sport. I think they still need some more money to save it going forward to get it endowed. Maybe they've done that or not. But I've kept tabs a little bit of what they got going on over there. But what I'm most proud of at Cal is I created a program for female walk-on athletes. We endowed a scholarship called Women Driven, which provides scholarships for female walk-on athletes every year for the rest of Cal's history. So I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of it too because the year that I was in San Francisco, we did an RBI program where I would donate money per RBI, and I had other fans and Cal fans match that or donate per RBI as well. So through them and through other people, we were able to get an endowed scholarship, and I'm proud of that and happy that we were able to do it.
Well, you certainly had a lot of RBIs, over 1,500, so that's a pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I wonder if you ever meet people like on your ranch in Texas. They probably wouldn't take you for a Berkeley and San Francisco guy, huh?
Oh, jeez. No, not even close. Not even close. What the hell are you doing? You know, I was I had to keep the scale in line a little bit. You know, at least one or two guys on the right side of the scale needed to be going to Cal. But you know, all the professors, you know, some of the crazy students that were out there, the people, the admin people, the coaching staff. Man, it was a great experience for me. You know, they didn't rub me the wrong way. I didn't do it to them. You know, this was before internet, cell phones too. So, you know, we didn't have a download of information. If I had that same information about Cal now, I don't know if I would have gone there. But I am truly grateful that I went there.
Great stuff. And that's another thing too. I think you get this. Some people will say, well, you know, Jeff Kent, you know, he maybe wasn't the most friendliest guy or best teammate. I have to remind them that you won the Willie Mack Award. It's voted on by your teammates.
Yeah. You know, I got probably some of it earned by myself. I got a bad rap about who I was. I'm a half-empty guy, and half-empty people aren't very pleasant. You know, my wife wears yellow Crocs around the house because she's just a happy person, and you know, and I wear black Crocs around the house. You know, I sleep in a black T-shirt at night. So it's just I'm a negative guy, and a lot of people don't like to be around negative people, and I never really had a problem with it because I didn't want people hanging around me either. But I showed up to work. I did my job. I motivated people. I fought with people to get them fired up, you know, and people motivated me. And so there was just a different dynamic that I was, and people wanted to kind of understand me. But because of the way I was, I never let people in my house, so nobody really understood who I was. So I got a bad rap, and, you know, it didn't bother me so much.
I love Half Empty. That's really good. You know, it reminds me, too, of when, I think it was 97 or 98, I went to some party you guys made the postseason, and, you know, Brian Sabian's like, oh, we're falling all over ourselves. We didn't, you know, advance, blah, blah, blah. But I remember Brian Johnson got up and gave a really impassioned speech, and then you were going to speak next, and you grabbed the mic and you pointed at Brian Johnson, and you went, there's your next mayor right there.
Yeah. We had some good dudes on the team. Brian Johnson, I didn't get to play with him for a long period of time, but he was another good dude on our team. Had a big hit for us back in the day. I'll always remember that one. You know, guys like him could speak well. He was one of those polished guys, too, that we had on our team. And, you know, we were a mix of guys that were grumpy like me and polished like him.
Finally, I got to ask you about Dusty, because the faith he had, and well, first of all, Brian had the faith for the controversial trade, and then Dusty parked you behind Barry, and you know, the toothpick in the mouth, and what was it like playing for Dusty?
Well, Dusty was awesome. You know, Ned Coletti had a little bit to do with that too, and Sabian, who had the balls enough to make the trade for Matt Williams. But Sabian was smart enough to get all good players that could play on the field, but just good men that got on the field, and he gave this group of players to Dusty, who was a great leader. And Dusty was able to figure out how to manipulate each player in a good way, communicate differently to each player to get the best out of them. And there's no way that I would have been able to take my game to the next level if it wasn't for Dusty's motivation, his need for me to play better. There was this aura about Dusty that you actually wanted to play better for him. You know, he was on your side. He was a guy that you would feel guilty for not performing well for. And he wouldn't guilt you in it, but it was just he was such a good guy and a good friend, and passionate about knew the game. I mean, he was one of the best hitting coaches I ever had, and he was our manager. But he was that guy that you had to play well for because you wanted to, not because he asked you to, because you wanted to. And you know, that's what made him so great for us at that time.
Great stuff. July 26th at Cooperstown, Jeff Kent will be officially enshrined in the Hall of Fame. Jeff, you earned it. You deserved it. Have a great time over there, and hopefully we'll catch up soon, man.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break. Come on back on Sports Byline.